Hello and welcome, mourners. You are listening to Dirge of Mourning's Coffin Carrier. I am your host, Andrew A. Graves, alongside Terabella Thorne. In this episode, we'll be looking at a Finnish band called Shape of Despair with their song Forfeit from the 2022 release Return to the Void. Oh, fuck me. Fuck me.
Oh my god. It's so good. It's so good.
Okay, I'm gonna need cigarettes after that one.
You will.
I'm definitely gonna need a cigarette after that one.
You will.
I'm just gonna lie back and enjoy exactly what I just heard.
I know, it's really a masterpiece. I really believe this song is a masterpiece. I truly do.
Okay, that's it. Interview over. I orgasmed. See you all later. I'm going home. Right. But no. Oh, Christ. Where to start? Where to fucking start with this? Just,
well,
powerful.
You know that I love this song. And you know that I know this song, so I want to hear what you have to say before I get into the things that I see about the song or hear about the song. I really want to know if you experience it the same way that I do, like or differently or whatever. I want to know your perceptions. I want to hear what's going on in your mind there. What is going on?
Well, first off, the music overall, powerful, strong, full of emotion, which should come as no surprise. We're talking about Funeral Doom here.
Yeah, this is like way over the top emotion, right?
Oh, absolutely. But there is an amazing guitar tone, drumming on point, the orchestration just phenomenally balanced, vocals are just impeccable. That opening clean vocal sound,
yeah
that knocked me on my ass.
That is beautiful.
And then of course we've got the death growl that is just so hauntingly awesome.
It just comes from deep inside.
Oh, it must do.
It really does.
But then you've got this added quality that if anyone is familiar with Shape of Despair, they will know exactly what I'm going to say. The addition with the female vocals. Absolutely beautifully done. There is no words to really describe this feeling but I'm gonna do my best when I literally quote the lines that just resonate with me and made me fall in love with this song. And the entire album as well, by the way. It's the final paragraph.
Oh, well, of course. Go ahead. Read. Do you want me to read?
You go for it. You go for it.
Overcome by the futility, the emptiness of defeat, to finally yield for the acceptance of forfeit.
Is that not just awesomely written?
I mean, they don't even use the word forfeit until the very end. That's it.
Well, what a better way to sum up everything that you've just experienced.
It's the perfect title for the song.
Oh, it absolutely is.
So, I've got a lot to say about this song. For me, it's not really all about the lyrics. For me, it's about the sound. And usually I talk a lot about lyrics, but I have to mention, you mentioned a lot of the instruments. I love when the piano comes in and just bang,
oh
bang,
yeah,
bang,
when it's it mimics the same guitar tone.
It's just powerful piano in there.
Oh yeah.
So when you're listening to this song, which I would highly recommend, even if you listen to it after we say things, listen to it again. It's not a long song and it's beautiful anyways. Just try listening to it again and see if you capture or if you can hear all of these things that we're going to talk about. So
links will be in the description, guys, for everything I could find about the band.
So the sound comes in. It is so hauntingly sad and mournful and gut-wrenching. To me, this is what we actually talked about in our last episode about that heavy mourning when you're alone.
Yes.
There is something in this song that I adore and that I know a little bit about from working in a hospital at night and having to emergency admit people and have death papers signed by people. So, and it's called wailing, and the wailing starts about. I'm not sure exactly where it starts. It starts.
Well, it comes in the second verse.
Is it before the death growl or toward the end of the death growl? I don't know.
It's at the same time as the death growl.
Yeah. So, and it comes in with the female voices. The female voices are basically starting this very subtle wailing. What wailing is it's an old term, and it is associated with funerals and death. And what it's about is when someone dies, the family members sometimes will gather, and certain cultures do this more than other cultures.
Oh yeah, it's usually more ancient cultures that have this in their backgrounds.
I do believe the Irish are known for this.
As far as my research took me, yeah.
And I do believe that at least where I lived at the time when I was doing this job down south, some of the very southern groups of people, native southern people would do this. And I don't know if it goes back further than that to like native groups of people, like various cultures and such. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I found when I did a quick sort of research on that.
On whaling. Well, with the sound, I've actually heard people do this.
Yes.
So I'll never forget going up on an elevator, coming out on a floor into the hospital, and someone in the family had died, and lots of family members were in the hallway wailing. and it's such a, it grasps you, and you just do want to listen to this. It's like you want to just be silent and listen, but it is pure raw emotion coming out in vocal form.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As an ex-gravedigger myself, I have seen and heard of this in literally at a funeral. We've actually, well, I have, I should say, experienced this in a way that I never thought I would. Just like you had mentioned, it's usually like when the immediate death happens that raw emotion tends to come out. But the way I experienced it was after we had dug the grave and the coffin was laid in, this family just, they broke down in such a way that I hadn't seen other families do.
Yeah.
And the only way I can describe what they were doing was this wailing technique.
Right.
And it's kind of funny because if we look at that sort of vocalization and how like people grieve for someone, it can almost be attributed to similar to like the death growl.
Right.
And the way that the person is getting out that vocalization of how they feel.
Exactly. I was just going to lead into that because you have through this song the wailing, and it gets longer and stronger. And so you have the female voices doing it. Then all of a sudden you have some other voices doing it with the female voices. That's toward the end. But when the death growl comes in the middle of it, it is such a very deep inside death growl that it can be described almost as the equivalency of wailing.
Yeah.
So because this is all about mourning.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, an extreme form of mourning.
Oh, absolutely.
And could be by yourself, could be in a group, since we know that groups do wailing.
Yeah.
The thing that strikes me about this song, the part that strikes me about the lyrics, is that it is very futile. It is very bleak. And
oh yes,
does, I believe, hint into suicide.
Yeah.
Do you see
where? Yeah. That was something I was gonna ask. Is if you get the same feeling as I do? Is this person is talking about someone they've lost to suicide?
The emptiness of defeat to finally yield for the acceptance of forfeit. I think it's actually someone mourning who is themselves contemplating suicide. So we do touch on, this brings up something for me that I would like to just say right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So very recently, someone extremely close to me lost someone to suicide just a few weeks ago. I do want to say that at least in the US, if you are thinking of these things or know anyone who is contemplating these types of things, we have a fantastic new number in the US, 988. All you have to do is dial 988 to reach a national suicide prevention hotline here. But what I think is good about these kind of lyrics and songs is that we can actually have a conversation about these things without freaking out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is actually normal and natural.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Because a few of the songs that we've listened to not just on the show, but outside of the show, that do pertain to this sort of theme that is slightly being hinted at here in one regard or another, whether it be the person themselves or someone that they know.
Right.
There's other bands that have literally wrote entire albums based on that entire concept. Now, as we know, that this particular album is about going on a hopeless journey and having no salvation, and the whole concept is like you're returning to the void. Well, what is the void? The void is nothingness. There is nothing there. So when people have these feelings and these thoughts, in most cases we tend to just sort of let them go. We don't dwell on them for too long. But in those rare cases that we do know of someone who has had these things happen, and they can take the pressure, and they do end up taking their own life, which again is just so unfortunate. These types of songs remind us that even though they are gone, their memory still lives on.
Absolutely.
And you should cherish the good times and not harbor too much on the fact that they did this thing that ultimately changed the course of everybody else's life, including, unfortunately, their own.
It does. It does change people around them, and it affects people around them.
It does.
But
and
one thing I'd like to point out is that the songs bring these subjects up because in society, at least in our country, we don't really converse about this very much.
Right.
And I think it's good to make this subject not taboo anymore.
Yeah,
we need to talk openly about this more.
Well, see, that was the thing that I was just reminded of there. You said that the subjects that go on within funeral doom, and also in heavy metal in general, and alternative music.
Well, yeah, other genres, sure.
They talk about taboo subjects because we don't talk about them frequently in our everyday life with our friends, our family, partner, whatever.
Right.
Subject matters like this should be expressed more. Especially if you are someone who has had thoughts like this. Talk to someone. It doesn't matter who it is, just get it off your chest.
Well, and if you don't want to talk to friends or family, that's why we have these hotlines. And I don't know if other countries have these.
What I will do is I will try my best to put as many links in the description for this kind of stuff as best I can. If you guys know of any other contact points, please put them in the comment section.
Yeah.
And I will make sure that they are highlighted accordingly.
And the thing is, just because you dial a number like this doesn't mean that you are a crazy, horrible person that's going to do something crazy. What it sometimes means is you know someone that's doing something that's kind of suspicious about that. You would like to discuss it with someone who knows more.
Yeah, basically, even if it's just advice.
Yes, and another thing that they are very good about is they can point you in the direction of the kind of help you or another person needs. So if they can't give you the specific thing you need, they're going to say, hey, look, I think you need to call this number, and they're going to get you what you need.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think it's the more open we can be about it and not stick our heads in the sand and look the other way, I think it's actually healthier. Yeah. So I mean, not
and
that I want to sit around talking about that constantly.
No.
But
here's the ultimate thing, though, isn't it? Because of music like Funeral Doom, where it almost makes you face those kinds of fears and these tragedies and these emotions, we are put in a position where listening to this type of music is cathartic in that sense.
Which is a good thing.
We have to allow ourselves that time to express these emotions. Otherwise, we will end up, doing actions that aren't necessarily what we truly want in the end.
Yes, I think that pent-up emotion is awful.
It is. You sit around focusing on...
not healthy, and creates more stress in your life and frustration and things like that.
That's why you've got to find a balance with your emotions, which is extremely difficult. Don't get me wrong. I struggle with that kind of shit myself, which you probably wouldn't know all that much just listening to me here ramble on about, music.
No, we don't get that from you.
No, I'm just all over the place.
More of the silly Andrew. But the songs, especially a song like this, hey, if you're feeling down, all about something that's going on in your life that maybe you're not too happy about, put on this song and do a little wailing with it, and you might feel just a little bit better. I love it.
Absolutely. I'm a huge component for self-therapy in that sense, where I meditation with the music, sing along to it, scream along to it, do what comes naturally when you hear this music. Just don't take it too far.
I think that's great advice. And I mean, it's a beautiful song, beautiful lyrics, beautiful music, great idea, great vocals. And I just strongly recommend this song for just
anything and everything
enjoyment of music. I'm sorry, but I just love this song.
Yeah, overall, it is just an amazing song. Even if you take away the discussion that we were just having, just look at it at face value.
Yeah,
it's beautifully written, beautifully orchestrated, beautifully played, just overall amazing. I guess that's why we should just go straight into scoring.
We should just do the scoring. Let me do my score.
Okay, you can go first.
My score is 10 out of 10.
A 10 out of 10, you say?
That's what I say. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm saying a 10 out of 10.
Yay!
There is no comparison here. I'm sorry, there isn't.
There's nothing really that you can find fault with this song.
No. There is a reason why Shape of Despair is at the top of the sort of Funeral Doom leaderboard, if you like.
Absolutely.
Everything they have ever touched is an amazing journey you go on. I just guys, go out and...
I mean, gorgeous isn't even a good enough word.
No, I don't think there's a word in the English language that sums up just how epic this is.
I mean, yeah, epic. I was thinking when I first heard the very beginning of the song that this is a masterpiece. I think I did say that. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. Lovely. Just
Well, that's going to do it from us here at Coffin Carrier. Until next time, mourners, remember, every day is a funeral.